podcasting will be a thrill. Grandpa and chill, grandson and friends. Grandpa and chill in full effect. We talk about it all, yeah, put it all on the set with that pet craze too. We chillin' with Rosie, come through, stay tuned, yeah, listen closely. Cause this the millennials and the silent generation coming together, discussion in rotation. This is Grandpa and Chill.
What about you, Grandpa Bart? Where have you been? What's good?
Well, I've had a few of my...
You gotta put the mic near your face.
Yeah. I've had a few minor problems, but getting them resolved. My wife's car got damaged. A fella parked behind it, a 90-year-old guy that lives in the same building we live in. Apparently, instead of hitting the brake, when her car was parked, he hit the accelerator and smashed her car, and it's put in salvage. So we've been running around looking for another car and dealing with the insurance company, trying to get paid, and other than that, everything's gone great except for pantry moths that fly around that are a problem. Let me see, the pantry moths. Oh, and I somehow dropped a cap in my bathroom sink, and it totally clogged up the sink, and I bought a snake trying to get it out, and sludge is coming out and everything, but it's still sort of blocked up. So anyhow, but other than that, everything's been going super duper, pooper scooper, whatever. I don't know.
I've had that issue before. I've had a Gatorade bottle top. I get into my sink, and I could not, for the life of me, get that thing out, man. It got fits in there perfectly, and it took I don't know. I think I had to use a plunger at some point. I can't remember how I got that thing out, but it was awful.
I've plunged with. I've used 2 gallons of this stuff that's supposed to remove problems. I snaked it down like 4 or 5 feet, 6 feet, and sometimes it'll run and sometimes it'll clog up. And it seems like unless you tear the wall open and go into the pipes, you can't get at it. But what something good? What's happening with you, Phines?
Oh, yes. All the good things. I'm reading a lot, reading the Hulk. I read some Blade. I remember last time we probably talked about I was reading Blade. Since then, I read that. Read a book about Underground Railroad, which isn't fun, but it was entertaining, and I learned a lot. Let's see, what else have I read? I've been drawing like usual, working, watched the Olympics. So, America, we won.
But no one's beat Usain Bolt's speed on the 100-meter.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Maybe.
What good things happened? Yeah, I went to a comedy show yesterday. It was nice. It was fun. Listening to Benen's podcast has been great. Love hearing artists and see them know them and then see them just do stuff. It's very just inspiring and cool.
Thank you. Have you been listening to every episode of Benen's podcast?
Yeah, I just recently. I think the last 3 I haven't, because I was like, I have too many podcasts. I listen to way too many podcasts. So, I stopped listening for a second. So I'm gonna give it a break. I have a binge thing. I'll probably sit there and draw one day and listen to all the rest of them. But I'm pretty up to date to most of it. Yeah.
Ain't no worries, man. I've done nearly 100 at this point, which still surprises me at times.
Yeah, all the hours of work. Go ahead.
Yeah, like the one that dropped this morning is like number 92, and it was a physiotherapist all the way from Australia. And he's been basically working at trying to help people for the last 35 years about dealing with spinal cord injuries, with brain injuries from car accidents and stuff like that. And he's basically at this point, because 35 years, long time, he says, if you're not willing to put the work in, bye-bye, I'm not going to help you pretty much. And so that's why I called the episode No BS with Daniel West, because he has a rehab facility called No Bullshit Rehab.
I get that. If you want to work with people who's like, I don't, you want to work with someone that wants to work. It's hard. You want to waste everybody's time.
And how about you, Brandon? How's your? Oh, I'm sorry.
About my life?
Yeah, and all the summer.
So much in the last 4 months. I'm now single again. I'm out of a 3-year relationship, as most people besides Benen probably know. Let's see, I moved across the country from Atlanta to LA. Yeah, like pretty much every aspect of my life is pretty different. So I have this manager in LA, and just auditioning a bunch, and yeah, I've done a couple of cool things. So
Do you feel that you're making more progress in LA than in Atlanta or New York?
yeah, I lost like 35 pounds like immediately.
Jeez.
I moved away from the barbecue Fox Bros, and I
Well, I was thinking about
immediately lost 35
your
pounds.
career, not your
Oh my
weight.
God.
I think they're very related. No, yeah, the career's been going good. I think it's been, yeah. I'm doing quite a bit better than I was, I would say, a couple years ago. So
All right. I don't know if anybody
Yeah, I
else hears
always
it, but
thought
you're
of
going
it,
in and
but-
out a little bit, Brandon.
oh no, does my Wi-Fi suck? Is that why?
Probably.
You know what? That's the real proof of the change. Is your internet is better than it's ever been. That's
Oh,
how you
and
know.
and you're still losing me. You're still losing me.
Ouch.
I
You know
literally
what?
bought like the
Brandon used to vanish. No, this is peak. This is peak. Okay, this is a record Brandon connection. Okay.
God damn
Like,
it.
Oh.
No,
I
Ben, he would
literally-
drop out. He would disappear. There was one day he was like, guys, let me put a bunch of shit into Chat GPT, like the most RAM intensive web app I can think of. And then he just disappeared for like 30 minutes.
Those were dark times. We didn't know about Chat GPT then.
The audio will go away.
And the
This is
guests would drop out randomly.
I have no complaints today.
Wait, yeah.
Am I wrong that Brandon's image is a little bit fuzzy?
No, you're not wrong.
It is on our end, but when we
I see myself
get
great.
all the footage together, it's going to be crystal porcelain.
I have
You don't-
134
you don't
remember
download,
on the other hand.
10. I have 10 upload. Am I delayed for anybody else or no?
Do you want to? You're doing great, man.
I bought the best internet package in the entire neighborhood with this podcast in mind. They were like, you can stream 7 devices on here. You can be on 8 different conference calls. It won't be a problem.
I love
Oh,
and
I
respect
missed
you no
these.
matter what speed you're coming in at.
Thank
It's much
you.
better than it used to be.
Great.
Brandon, how do you like the Hollywood area in general? I mean, or
The
California,
Hollywood area is horrible. I don't live near there, but it's very bad. It's like the equivalent of like Times Square in New York City,
And I remember you, Benen.
Oh, I remember you very well, sir.
Yes. And how has your summer been?
Well, actually, I think it's been more than a year since I last spoke to any of you guys, and a lot has happened since then. I moved out of my parents' house, and now I'm living in my own apartment on my own. I've done 10 virtual theater plays with a company out of New York, who, after several discussions with the director, I got tired of working with her, so I left. And I've gotten nearly 100 episodes of my podcast done at this point. We've got a merchandise store available, which you can check out on the website, where you can get t-shirts, coffee mugs, sit-down, stand-out teddy bear if you got a little one in the house. And I'm working on a book for Audible right now.
Wow, sounds really busy. Sounds like you're doing well.
Well, I was raised by a family of workaholics, so kind of have to be.
Can you
And
tell us
last
about
time we
the?
saw you, you didn't even start the podcast, right?
No, I did not, because I saw
That's
like five,
crazy.
four, three, two, one on the screen. So
Yeah, that's so cool.
And Phines, how is your artwork coming along?
Oh, swimmingly. I'm doing cool stuff. I drew a picture for someone's comedy show. That was pretty fun because I don't usually do commissions. I'm not a big fan of commissions. Um, so I went outside my box and did it. So that was pretty cool. Um, yeah, no, that's been good. I'm interested in looking at your more your merchandise, Benen, and did you say what the podcast name of? Did you? I mean, I know what it is, but did
oh,
you already say it to the
oh
to
yeah,
everyone? Okay.
I forgot. For the listeners who want to check out my podcast after listening to this episode, it's the Sit Down Standout Show podcast.
Big fan.
And if you want, you can go to our website at www.rollingdragonmedia.com and click Standout Merch. It'll take you right to our merchandise store where you can pick up a mug, a t-shirt, or a teddy bear or whatever. We've already had a few customers, one from Canada, where I live, and one from a lady in Israel just recently purchased one of our shirts.
ooh, nice.
Cool.
And why is it called the Sit Down Stand Up podcast?
Well, Sit Down Stand Out Show, and I do that
Sit down,
because
stand up.
Sit down, stand out. Yes, my guests usually are individuals with physical disabilities like myself. I have cerebral palsy, or individuals with unique mental health challenges, and our story is designed to provide a judgment-free platform for people to share their stories of how they've overcome the challenges associated with being born with a unique condition, or dealing with mental health challenges on a daily basis, or just in general standing out in a unique way, even if you have to spend your life sitting down.
That's what I was gonna ask. Hearing your voice, which is great. What can you tell us about the audiobook? Did you get hired for it? What's going on? Is it secret? Is it hush hush?
Well, what I will say is I had done about 59 auditions prior to getting this offer, so it's my first offer. I'm not going to disclose the title of the book when it will come out because I'm still working on it, but it is a book regarding it's a guidebook to take care of a particular breed of dog.
Oh,
Huh.
mm, sounds fancy. Yeah, there's a ton of stuff for 2 years. Um, I want to talk art since we got all the artists in here about putting all your artwork out for like, how do you been feeling putting all the stuff out for the last 2 years? Like, are you going nuts? Are you? Because I feel like I would be like going nuts, but I'm projecting. How are you doing?
Well, well, I would say I'm somewhere in the middle, like 50-50, just because it's been so much in such a brief space to where it's like I almost wish I could hire someone like Sierra to help me out with the stuff that I don't understand. Like, for instance, I've been trying to get old episodes of the podcast on my own YouTube channel, which just goes under the show title that you can click on. I've only got like the first 12 up so far because I'm just trying to introduce the show to a different audience on YouTube, and it's basically you're just looking at the picture of the guest in the episode thumbnail while the audio plays. So, just introducing a different audience to the same episodes that I've been airing for weeks. But at the same time, with all the stuff that I'm doing, it's almost like, boy, I wish I could afford some staff to hire to help me out with the hard parts, or boy, I wish I could just take a break sometimes. But then you realize, you know what? Just take a breath. You don't have to do anything today. Go outside, order yourself a hamburger from the local place across town.
Yeah, I have been. This is what I've been justifying by not doing stuff like this is because I'm like, man, for an artist to be an artist nowadays, you just have to be. Your bag has to be deep of not just artistry. You have to also know how to just like maneuver tech and maneuver marketing and maneuver things that just are It seems like quite a bit. If that's what you're interested in if you're trying to get your product out there, and it's a lot to me at least. But will you better say something, Brandon?
Oh, well, 100 episodes in like less than 2 years is crap. How'd you do that many episodes? You do it every week?
Yeah, I do it every Wednesday, so about around the same day of the week that you guys drop your shows. Because, number one, if you use social media the right way, it's not hard to find unique individuals on social media to be a possible guest. I think the thing is that I started out with recording a couple episodes before I actually launched the show as well. It also helps that you try your very best to interview or try to send out multiple emails, because what I do to keep my show under control is there's always months of the year where there's conditions that you need to be aware of, or we're raising awareness of. Say, for example, every month there's a type of cancer that we want to raise awareness for. There's types of events that we want to talk about all the time. That kind of helps categorize the guests that I look for. Then you just use hashtags on social media, and for every non-response, you just keep working at it.
Yeah. Love it.
This is so nice. I missed you guys.
I miss this
Yeah, it's
too.
great.
Been
Great
a
seeing
long
you all.
time.
Honestly.
Benen, is cerebral palsy what Roosevelt had, or did he have a different condition?
Roosevelt, he had polio, I believe.
Okay. And the effects, the symptoms are dissimilar.
Well, similar in the sense that he became paralyzed, but his condition as he got older slowly deteriorated the rest of his body, because for a good chunk of his life he was fully able-bodied and was able to do all of his stuff, whereas the polio is a virus. What I have is a premature birth condition,
I see.
because I was born about 10 weeks prematurely.
Have you worked with any of the last 2 years with the people that I know you worked with them on the podcast, but like outside of the podcast, have you worked with any of your guests?
I feel like I've become friends with a few people, but I can't say that any project has come up that's outside of the podcast. Like, there's one lady she works at Windsor University in Windsor, Ontario, who I'm good friends with. I did an episode with her because her son has a condition called cystic fibrosis.
Mm-hmm.
It's a genetic lung disease that you can get diagnosed with as a baby, which involves like tons and tons of treatment. And parents who will go the extra mile to try to make sure that their children, despite having a disability or a condition, make them feel like life is still a beautiful thing, really gets to me, because my mother tries her best to do the same thing. So I think we've become friends because of that.
Wow. Yeah. Is it 2 years on your own too? How long you been in your apartment? Or is it an apartment?
The apartment yes, it's an apartment. I moved into that this past October. And that's the first time that I lived like full time on my own out of my parents' house. Prior to that, I lived on college residence, but I don't count that because I had the college prepaid meal plan all the time, so I wasn't really cooking. And then I had a roommate, so I don't really count that as living on my own.
That's funny. All right. Well, how's it living on your own?
I think it took me about a month to get adjusted to that, just because we had gone through several things before moving out. Like, first of all, it's only half an hour away from where my parents lived, so in the event of an actual emergency, it's just a text message or a phone call. And then, pretty much the only things that I need help with now is someone to help me get groceries, because you got to go into town to go get that stuff, and the apartment complex is pretty much out of town. Like, it's a small town called Minden. And then pretty much help with laundry, just because for whatever reason, the building just doesn't have enough machines, and then the laundry mat is on the other side of town, so my parents are willing to help me out with that. So other than that, I do all the cooking and then most of the cleaning, with the exception of like once every 2 weeks I have people coming in.
Pretty. Yeah, that's a lot of visitors too. Hey.
Boy, I could use you out here, Benen. I have a lot of cleaning to do.
Well, according to my mother, they're not that expensive because they just live like within the area. So I think maybe they only charge a couple hundred for maybe I don't know exactly how much because I didn't read up on that. My mother signed me up before that, but I would imagine it could be affordable given the exchange rate. I did set the house alarm on fire, or I did set off the fire alarm once or twice.
Looking?
Yeah, trying to figure out how to properly cook a chicken thigh.
Yeah, that's all right. I done seen
And-
Brandon try to
and
cut
then-
a
Those are
chicken.
tough.
Or
And
was
then
that?
you gotta remember to always put the tinfoil rack on there, and then it's like, okay, you gotta put this in a pan. You can't leave this on a rack. And then at one point, like the people from next door literally had to come in and help me because I had overcooked the chicken by mistake, and then smoke is going all over the building, and I'm like, I'm sorry, everybody, because I don't want you to hate me.
Yeah.
Well, that was an interesting experience.
Do you drive, Benen?
No, I'm not physically able to drive. I have been able to drive a
Gotcha.
golf cart, but what we had to do for the golf cart was we had to put a piece of wood under the gas pedal so that my feet could have a reasonable amount of throttle. Like, without that piece of wood, my foot would be on the gas full throttle, and I wouldn't be able to control it.
I see. So you have use of your feet. It's just hard to control, or
Well, it's what I have is called spastic cerebral palsy, and there's like 4 different levels of cerebral palsy. I believe what I have is like level 3 because it affects both my legs, and one of my arms. What I can do is I can walk, but I need a walker to be able to hold on to something. I can stand up if someone needs me to. And I am a little out of shape, but that's my own personal choice because I didn't listen to physiotherapists as a kid, but otherwise I'm pretty good.
yeah, same with all of us. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know
Yeah.
what about being out of shape. I have a problem getting out of bed in the morning.
I do too sometimes, but I just blame the rain if that happens.
Yeah.
Because I have the same thing. If it rains, my joints are killing me.
Oh yeah.
And I'm 26, so it can happen to anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. My knees went out on me
And this,
when I was walking up the stairs.
So, Brandon, I wanted to ask you a question, Brandon.
yeah.
You've had a lot of training in your
You
profession.
got to put the mic closer. I can't hear you,
And
Grandpa.
Are you still learning?
Every week, yeah. I'm in class pretty much every week. Yeah.
Are any of the directors that you've worked, whose films or shows you've worked for, stand out as far as their competence or ability?
It's crazy. I just directed.
I don't think so.
I mean, I've worked with like a lot of really cool people. I just directed my own short for the first time like a month or 2 ago. I don't know if I told you about that, Grandpa. Yeah, and gosh, dude, it's so fun. It's so cool directing. Like I really, really loved it. I thought it would be something I wouldn't like, but I really liked it. Trying to think of a specific director that I really.
How can we watch it?
I just started it.
how can
I'll
we-
send it to you. It's gonna take me two or 3 months, but yeah, and the actors were so
How
good.
long? How long a short? is it?
25 minutes.
How long?
Yeah, like
That's a
half hour.
Well,
That's a
pretty
short.
good.
Yeah, it's
thought
an
it-
hour and 25 minutes.
Oh, I thought a short was like 30 seconds.
No, yeah, I think that's a TikTok short or
Okay, because
Instagram reel.
I'm thinking of like those little shorts that they would have at certain like was it Disney films that they would have those little animated shorts before the
Oh
movie
yeah.
actually started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you like about directing? Do you know? I don't know if you can put it into words.
Well, there's a lady named Kathleen uh, Kelly who directed me, and she just knew how to make every actor like feel amazing, and I think that's something that was really cool. The thing that I thought I wouldn't like about directing is I hate like leading anything. I hate being like a group leader. Um, but like everybody on set was so cool
What
and
is
it
the
was just
motive
so
of
chill
your?
that I didn't really feel like I had to. I just had to sort of set stuff up and then work with the actors and like make sure everybody was good. And the thing that I loved about the directing, I would say, was just like I've been acting so long that I knew how to get exactly what I wanted from the people I was working with, like
Yeah.
the actors, and it was just weird, dude, because I've had like visions in my head or ideas of like specific shots, and then to see it like come to life is a very trippy. It must be like being an artist, you know, where you can like see something in your head and then actually create it exactly how you see it. It's about a watchmaker who applies to like the world's leading watchmaking apprenticeship, and he's like in his 30s and he still lives with his parents, and his parents like hid the letter from him, so he doesn't know if he got in or not. um, yeah, it's like a very kitchen sink uh, comedy or whatever.
What's that mean?
Yeah, no, my it's based off of my friend. The lead guy is an actual watchmaker who lives with his dad, so I wrote it for him.
What's the kitchen sink thing
Yeah.
mean? Does that mean like homemade or
Oh,
something?
kitchen sink is just like, yeah, just like, you know, they stand around a kitchen sink and talk, you know what I mean? There's no explosions, there's no, yeah.
I see, I see.
Kitchen sink, just like how at a house, simple drama. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
This everyone's working on projects, doing their
I don't
thing.
know.
No, no, what you mean you don't know? It's great. I like hearing what you're passionate about.
Yeah.
Keep it up. Affirmations.
Thanks, Finest.
Yeah,
I
man. Love
appreciate
it.
that.
Um,
I
but
feel
no,
like I'm
seriously
at
though,
such a
like,
different place in my life, and there's a lag, so if I'm talking over you, I'm sorry. But like, I just, I don't know. I give so little fucks about so many things now. Uh, as a like, just in regards to like art and like, so like I'm doing shit that I just like, oh, this would be fun, and I just want to do it. And I'm like, it's not gonna go anywhere, but I just wanted to because I really liked it, you know. But
I hear you, because I remember, I know our situation is a bit different, but I remember when there would be times where I would be like trying to record things for the podcast, because I started the podcast long before I moved out of my parents' house, and there would be a lot of things that I would have to navigate around, and I would have to be like, okay, Dad, I need you to keep the volume on your NASCAR at a minimal volume. I'm trying to record this particular thing, or I would have to ask them, be like, okay, can you guys help me get in the shower to be able to just take a shower? And now that I live on my own, it's like it feels so freeing to think, you know what? You can take a shower whenever you want. You can cook whatever you want for dinner. It's like there's very little distractions unless you make your own distractions. It's very freeing.
yeah,
Can
yeah.
is there anything today in robotics that can give you more control?
I would not know about that because I don't really pay attention to the world of robotics. I do know that there is a lot of work in terms of like getting prosthetics are possibly getting better, but because I have pretty much all functioning limbs, I haven't really been paying attention to that. Plus, I saw too many Terminator movies to have faith in robotics.
the media.
And also, like,
That's so
because of all the
yeah.
evolution of AIs or artificial intelligence, I'm a voiceover artist for a freelance living, like narrating the audiobook, doing a voiceover, with so many people thinking, oh, look at all this AI technology that's improving. Sure, there's a degree of improvement upon AIs. Like, for example, I would love it if they were somehow able to create a replica of the late Christopher Lee's voice, so that he could narrate stuff posthumously. But
Oh,
at the same
they'll
time,
have it soon.
I don't want people who are passionate like me about voiceover and stuff losing jobs to AI.
Yeah, they will. It's all really fucked. I just want to say it's so cool that you're feeling good and independent, Benin, and living. Because I remember last time we talked, like you definitely were not in as happy of a place as you are now, and you've like accomplished so much. So that's pretty awesome.
Well, thank you. And I can definitely, like, I even have spoken to my parents since then, and I just said, you know what? Well, some moments I'm not going to apologize for, because in the moment, like, I meant it. But I realized that, like, now some of the arguments that we had, now that I'm living on my own, just how stupid some of those arguments were, because it was over such a little thing. Now that I'm out on my own, doing my own thing, and I have far more options compared to what I used to have, it's like, look, I'm sorry, I was immature and I was so frustrated, because there were times where it was like, Mom, Dad, I've got issues and I don't know how to deal with it. So now that we're in a better place, it's like, sorry, I tried.
Well, I think that even people that have great love for one another, when they're together, they still have some arguments or disagreements.
Well, that's
normal
true. That's
in
kind of
life.
what makes
Yeah.
relationships interesting.
Yeah.
If we got along all the time, it'd be very boring.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work.
Yeah, screw you, Grandpa.
Let's fight.
What happened? What happened to Sierra?
I'm here.
Okay,
She's just
good.
listening to make sure that we're not technically screwing up.
I'm soaking it all in.
And then she'll talk smack later.
No.
Do you have a scarecrow behind you, Grandpa? What is that?
Scarecrow.
Oh yeah.
You gotta put the mic close to your face.
Rosie?
I can't hear you.
You're talking about Rosie?
No, no. Look, behind you is like a live scarecrow.
Oh yes. Yeah, I've been hitting what they call pantry moths, which are a real pain in the neck. And I was messing up my ceiling trying to swat them. So now I have a vacuum cleaner and I vacuum into the thing, and they're just every day there's like 5 or 10 of them.
I legit thought you had
But
a
what's
scarecrow
behind
to keep
you?
the nets to keep the nets afraid, which I don't. What would that work?
No, but it would be amazing.
Well, there's always something to annoy you. You know,
You need
It's
to
like-
get like one of those. I don't know what they're called exactly, but there's a bug zapper that you can get that's about the size of a handheld lantern that you could attract moths to, that would just fly right into it, immediately get fried up.
You know what? I have one. In fact, one of the lights that's on right now has that in it. It has an ultraviolet light in it, and it has a zapper. And I don't think it works at all. I've spent all kinds of money trying to get something that would work. And the problem I have is that I don't want to spray with something that can injure the birds.
Right. Maybe
That-
there's something you could put on it that it's like, okay, something that the birds hate but bugs love, like a scent of some sort, because bugs have weird interests.
Yeah, a pheromone or whatever they call it. Yeah.
What do you?
So, Sierra,
Was you?
I kind of miss not hearing from you. You mentioned that you've been doing a lot of reading, I think, right?
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I hadn't been able to do it for years. Well, just not as much as I wanted to, because I had like a ton of neck pain, and so just trying to like sit and bend down and like read for like hours like I used to, just like not possible. So I'm reading a lot more now, and like sometimes I can read while I'm exercising, so comboing that, coming together really nicely.
Nice. I've been reading a lot more too, because for Christmas last year I got an Audible subscription for a year,
Ooh.
which is like you get 1 credit a month and you can use that credit to buy whatever book you want. And I've been reading stuff like The Silmarillion by J.R.R. Tolkien, Kitchen Confidential by the late Anthony Bourdain,
Mm.
a couple of wrestling
I
biographies.
just read that too. I
Oh,
just read
wow.
it, Benen. That's crazy.
Which
I
one?
listened to the audiobook. Kitchen Confidential.
No, but which book? Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And Medium Raw. And I started Lord of the Rings. So like we literally have been reading the exact same things the last
Ooh.
month.
Wow.
And you do look a lot like me, so it's almost like we're twins.
That's true. That's hilarious.
Maybe
I can do a book club.
Brandon, Benen.
We were switched at birth.
Yes.
I'm not well read at all when it comes to novels or the only thing I read is kind of more scientific or mechanical things, electronics. So, what is the difference that you gain from reading a book relative to watching like a TV show or a movie or whatever?
Well, I would have to guess that if you were reading a paper book versus watching a television show, because you can flip the pages at your own pace, so it's a different level of processing the information. Whereas television goes by so quickly, there's going to be things that you'll want to pause, rewind, go back and look at again because of how quickly television goes by on a screen. And at the same time, if you're reading instead of listening on an audiobook, you can also create like what the characters might, you can visualize what a character would look like. If you're reading, you can think of a voice that would be saying the words in the book yourself. Like, you don't have to be subject to listening to somebody that you don't like.
Yeah.
Well, oftentimes when I hear a voice, and then I see the person who had spoken or is speaking, they look very different than what I had anticipated.
Yeah, like I've listened to a lot of books that have become films. Like if you read Lord of the Rings and then you watch the film, how often would you imagine that the voices of the characters would sound like the ones you thought of in your head? Like I watched the movies first, so it was easier to say, okay, this is what Legolas sounds like. But if you were to just read the book, you could be able to come up with your own voice.
Those are great things. Yeah, those are. I feel like reading a book is without having anything. It gives you freedom, the audience, to have their own perspective instead of in a movie, which is nothing wrong in a movie too. Like someone else or a TV show, someone telling me their perspective or showing me their perspective. But I think reading a book gives you a little bit more freedom. Even I guess you're reading from the writer's perspective, but you get what I'm saying, Grandpa, right? And been in a second in what you were saying.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just basically, with words, you make your own pictures. With pictures, you shown it. What someone's given me.
Phines,
Yes, sir.
Phines,
Yes, sir.
can you show us any new artwork that you've done? If you've done any, I don't know, because we haven't been on for
The face with
3
googly.
months,
This
have
is
we?
a face with googly eyes. I'm drawing this right now. It's a guy. I'm drawing. I don't know what I'm doing.
Cute.
He's got hands though. What else?
Aw.
This is a face that says poo on it.
What is that?
That's something from my D&D crew. It's a character from D&D because I'm always sketching. I don't know. I've been collaging so much. I haven't put anything actually down. I just have a bunch of like clippings, so I look like a serial killer. It's gross.
You couldn't possibly look like a serial killer. You're too nice.
It's the folder.
That's the one you most
I know, right?
suspect.
It's so
is the nice one.
It's so organized.
That look real normal.
It's
Well, in that case, I'm a mass murderer.
That's hilarious. Hey, Benen, we shouldn't be outing ourselves out here. But no, it's just great. I've been loving collaging. It's been like folders of stuff. All these are there's a bunch of collage stuff.
Fine as your art looks so much more like your personality now.
Ooh.
Like it,
Ah.
like I see it and it feels like finest.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
To the sky. I'm
Yeah,
only
you've
at the
really
very beginning.
grown.
I hope to make more. That's what I was gonna say though. I'm really proud of us because 2, 3 years, 4 years from ago, when we were talking about what we were interested in, it's just so cool to see you're now direct. You start off just acting and doing improv and us doing that, and now you're directing, and you've gotten so much deeper in the game. And then Sierra's always proud, like with her like voice acting and doing like just more producing and stuff like that. And she's working on projects and Benen like and Grandpa, everybody's just working on stuff, and I'm just happy. You know, sometimes so many times artists fall off, not purposely and nothing, but I'm happy that we have been keeping going, and I'm proud. Gives me joy.
Do you guys feel different than you were 4 years ago when we started as people?
Oh geez, I feel like an entirely different person because like since I've started doing all this, it's like I never expected to ever be on my own. Like I was always thinking like okay, you'll live with your parents until then you get passed off to another relative and then it's off to the home basically. Just because it was not like we had these deep discussions about the future. It wasn't like we talked about like well, here's the plan for when you move out. Here's the plan for we want you to move over here for simplicity reasons. And then it was like most of the podcast at one point was just an idea. And to think now that I've interviewed people from Canada, the US, Australia, England, Scotland, like all over the place, I go, wait a minute, what happened to me? I love it, but what happened?
It's awesome, Bennett.
It really is.
Yeah.
Grandpa?
Huh?
Huh?
Grandpa's like, I don't know. I don't remember 4 years ago.
That's hilarious.
How'd you
I
do
feel like
that?
I feel like you worked on at least
How about-
2 or 3
How about
projects.
how about
You worked on a
4
bunch of
hours ago?
projects. You're always like, hey, look at this.
Grandpa's like, every episode's the first episode to me. Grandpa, how do you keep it so fresh? Oh, I don't know where I am.
Febreze.
I love
I
you,
have a
man.
fun side question for everybody. Everyone wants to answer this. It's because I've been in the Olympic mood. There's so many things that they're a part of Olympics. There's so many like different events. My question to you guys are, if there was a random ass event that you think you could train 4 years in right now and maybe compete, what would it be? I'll start off.
Breaking.
Let me start off so I can break the ice so you guys understand what's going on, or do you guys want to just go in there?
Tell me. You tell me.
Okay. Oof. I probably could medal. Oof. I don't know what I'm good at. Let me think. Okay, I got it. I play Pokemon trading card game. Maybe if you give me one deck for 4 years to practice with, I probably could beat some people. I probably could at least compete and almost medal. Those Pokemon trading card games should become an Olympic sport, so I can try. Does anyone else have?
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. For something similar, I would say not Pokemon cards, but I would say Duel Monsters. If you guys are familiar with the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise,
Oh yeah.
that one, or I would say like most Reese's peanut butter cups eaten in an hour.
There we go.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I could competitively eat professionally, like speed eat as well.
You should watch Beard Meets Food on his YouTube channel. It's both hilarious and disturbing
Disgusting.
of how much he can eat.
Yeah, I don't like watching people with beards eat. It's just
Well,
fucking
where is your
falls
sense of
into
adventure, good
shit.
sir?
Just fucking.
A random
Yeah, no, I've
trivia
seen-
night.
Mm.
I could do an Olympic trivia night. Something very
There you
neat.
go.
Yeah, what was yours, Sierra, Brandon? I'm sorry. I mean, not Brandon, Grandpa.
I don't have any ideas, but it amazes me that they have breakdancing.
That was
as
my
an
vote.
Olympic sport.
I could crush the women's breakdancing competition tomorrow.
Wasn't that like a style of dance in the 90s?
I mean, breakdancing is like everywhere now, evidently.
No, but
well,
I'm saying, didn't it start in the 90s or?
No, I want to say like 70s, 80s.
Before my
Because it started with hip hop. So whenever hip hop started,
Oh, I always thought like hip hop was at its hottest when NWA was on top.
maybe, but the old school like original hip hop that doesn't even have anything to do with like how many felonies you can commit in a day.
Yeah.
Way back before
Yeah,
then.
you probably
didn't know
couldn't
you
even get
breakdanced,
away
Sierra.
with saying half the stuff back then.
You know what? Damn it, I can learn.
That's
Did you
hilarious.
see this lady from Australia
Yeah.
rolling around on the ground like a Swiffer jet?
You know, this is also
I'm not even kidding.
my issue with the Olympics
No, I didn't.
is they shouldn't be doing any. I personally don't think you should have art in the Olympics because how do you judge dancing? How do you judge someone sing like that? That's all objective, right? So
Wait, was the gold medalist
kind of-
bad or something?
I mean objectively,
Okay.
I don't
All
know.
right.
I mean it's
All right,
subjectively.
pause. So this is what happened. The first year ever breakdancing was in the Olympics. The men did fine. The women were not fine. And I don't know what the deal was. I'm going to choose to believe that the women didn't find out that they were going to be allowed to compete in the Olympics until like 18 months ago. So they didn't get the full 4 years. A little bit of shade because it just wasn't the same as the men's competition at all. Just they're not even close.
Yeah.
And really breakdancing, as far as I know, is like a skill of your balance, endurance, core strength, practice. So it's not like, gymnastics where like women are going to have some skills like flexibility and different things like that, and men are going to have other skills where like they're going to have really strong shoulders and all that, lots of like muscles in different areas. Like you could be doing the same moves, men or women, if you're breakdancing. So I don't know what happened with the women. It just wasn't as good. There was this one Australian woman who competed, who clearly had never done any breakdancing in an actual like competition or setting with other breakdancers, because they would have bullied her out of existence for the way that she was dancing. And
she won.
They're saying that she
won
has
the
like
gold.
no, she didn't win. She's literally like,
Oh.
you got every round you get points from each of the judges. So I think you could have got like 9 points each round. She got 0 points every single round. No one else did that. No one else in the entire competition got 0 points.
Really just don't get
And-
it. It's just not. It's just what are they gonna let? I just take away dancing.
It don't make sense.
Take away dancing.
We're
Period.
lost for words.
What they gonna
I
have
would love
next?
it if they
Great-
made like
great
UFC
Limbo?
the Olympic sport.
But I thought this was a cool idea because breakdancing is a very particular skill and there are a lot of ways to demonstrate it. I just think they went in a really terrible way about determining how to grade the performances, and obviously about who to let in, because again, I'm just going to encourage you to look up Australian Olympic breakdancer. and it's not just Australia. We're not going to shade Australia, because the men's Australian dancer was just fine. It was just her. She was saying she has a PhD in breakdancing and she studied it for years. And again, I'm not really sure what the deal was with her, but like there were other performances that seemed really, really good. And then the round, like at the end of the round, the ratings would come out or the scores would come out and they would hardly get any points. And I think it would have been better if we could have gotten like some kind of like graphic, like an overlay of like, what are the rules? How are you scoring people? What is
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah, that's why I don't like it. This slippery slope. I don't want.
Yeah, it
They
made it
ended it.
frustrating just to watch.
It's not going to be in the next Olympics.
Thank goodness. I don't think any. I don't think, because then, like I said, slippery
No.
slope. Next thing you know, we're gonna have the American Idol at the Olympics, which I'm not against, but it's just like, I don't know, man. Stick to the athletics.
This was the coolest thing.
I think we should have the UFC at the Olympics.
We have boxing at the Olympics.
Yeah,
Well, we
UFC
need
makes
more-
we
more
have
sense.
figures. We have ice skating at the Olympics.
Well, we need more violent sports to make Olympics interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Phines, I had exactly the same thought or feeling that you have that how are you going to judge breakdancing?
I mean, synchronized and swimming and stuff
Sport.
too. I mean, hot take. I love watching these things, but I personally am like, how do you win?
I bet you
it's-
like watching that.
What, synchronized dancing? Yeah.
No, I thought you said synchronized swimming, and I'm like, I'll bet
Oh.
you enjoy watching that.
It's the same thing. They changed it. I don't even call it synchronized swimming anymore. They call it like something different. But yeah, I don't mind it. Yeah, yeah. If you're talking about for the ladies,
I like the skateboarding.
I don't know.
though.
I don't. Yeah, I don't. It's okay. They're okay. Um. Yeah. No.
So that's my vote. I would say I could stop breakdancing competition. I could get a medal in that, or something that doesn't exist. I think I could train hard enough for kazooership.
What?
Some kind of kazoo related
Yeah.
skill event. I think I would eat on kazoo.
For the most dramatic kazoo whistle, you get the go.
Right.
Yeah.
Kazoo performance. Maybe like kazoo on an obstacle course, kazoo while riding a bicycle, like something to put the athleticism back into it, but
Oh, I
kazoo related.
I thought you were talking about like that little thing that you blow the kazoo.
Yes, the kazoo. It just find out a way to finesse some athleticism into my kazooership, and that's my pick. That's my choice.
Okay.
Brandon, what if there
If we
was?
can put duel monsters in there, we can put Pokemon in there. I want my kazooership.
That's true. Brandon, maybe we can team up and be like a sketch duo team or improv. We could zip zap zoop each other to the gold.
Yes.
If there was improv in the Olympics, they would just shut the Olympics down. They would just be like,
would
we're
take-
done. We
It'd be like a
can't
giant
watch this
game of
anymore.
charades. It'd be like a giant
Yeah,
game of
no.
charades. The audience would be like, "What is going on?"
There would be nothing more horrible than improv comedy on a global international stage.
I don't know. I think it'd be
With
pretty
would
funny to
millions
see
of
two
watchers.
different cultures go against each other, and we can see which
You
one.
definitely
and then,
know who sucked
Yeah.
right away.
That'd be
Yeah,
hilarious.
most
That would be
people
great.
suck at improv comedy. Most improv comedy sucks, so it'd be rough.
Wow, I would love
Oh,
to see
that'd be
who would.
great.
I would love to see the
Ouch.
top three nations of top three countries of improv. I would then I know where to live.
I'd love to see. Oh, I'd love to see like Russia, China, and Japan go at it in improv. It'd be like, wait a minute, we definitely need translation.
Yeah, like none of the jokes would land because they're all different languages, so they mean different things.
I love Putin. Yes, I love Putin too. The end. Like,
I love Putin. Now give me Mitsubishi so I can get out of here.
Yeah, we can get anything. We should have one just terrible sport choice every 4 years. Just one. We need just one every year. We're just like, but why?
They should put.
How do
Yeah.
we get here?
Oh wait, no, that's probably already there. I was thinking we should put sledge hockey in there, but I would imagine that's in the Paralympics, maybe.
What is it? Sledge hockey? What is it?
Is that like curling?
Well, no, it's like regular hockey. The only difference is if you have a disability, you're sitting on a sled, and either you're pushing
Ooh.
yourself with your arms and hockey sticks, or someone is pushing you on the ice.
Holy
that
snap.
sounds
Wow.
I used to play that when I was younger.
Holy crap!
You
How your
played that
did your
well.
fingers get jammed? I'd be so afraid my fingers would get smacked.
No, because your arms are on one side, and then you hold the sticks, and then you just kind of push down on the ice to move forward or to move backwards.
So it's
and
like hacking almost, right?
almost,
know.
but with like hockey sticks on ice, or someone is pushing you, like holding the back of the sled
I
and then
see.
moving on the ice.
Okay.
Which one did you do,
I see.
Benen?
That
What do
seems
you
like
mean?
polo, which seems exhausting.
Was someone pushing you, or were you doing the hockey sticks on the ice?
My dad was pushing me most of the time because my arms have never necessarily, like, I've got one good arm and the other one is like, I can work with it, but I'll be much slower if I try to use both. So, but it's the same thing. You play regular hockey, everybody's just sitting down and is either pushing themselves or getting pushed.
How'd you do? Were you good?
Well, it was kind of like, it was just a kid's thing. It wasn't like we're professional teams playing against each other all the time. You were either on
Yeah.
the red team or you were on the black team, and then depending on who was able to show up, you would sometimes switch. and then at the end of the season, you'd play against the local police.
Oh wow,
And then I would say, "Hey guys, where are your donuts now?"
that's hilarious. That's the scoreboard. You'd be like, "There's your donut scoreboard." Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool. I don't think I've ever played hockey in my life, ever.
Well, I'm Canadian, so it's kind of
Yeah.
against our wishes
That's
whether we want to or
hilarious.
not.
That's
That
funny.
makes sense. I was wondering why. I was like, hockey, that's so interesting.
Well, it's like literally inbred in every Canadian to know something about hockey. Like, there were times where teachers would force us to watch the Olympics, and I, quite frankly, could throw the Olympics in a trash can for all I care, because it's not that amusing to me. But, and as far as, like, to me, like, we're all people of planet Earth, so patriotism to me is not a big deal. Like, we
Yeah.
should all just be nice to each other. So I don't really necessarily like the competitive, like how crazy things get and all the controversies that happen every year. To me, it's just like a waste of time. So for me, it's like that. So in Canada, pretty much everybody knows a little bit about hockey, and teachers in school might make you watch games as far as like an assignment to be like, watch how they're doing these exercises prior to training and stuff like that. And then maple syrup is also ingrained into us.
That's
But we
funny.
don't, like, not everybody in Canada says A. I think Seth MacFarlane gave us that stereotype.
Lumber.
No,
And
not
lumber.
everybody. I think that's a provincial thing, because there are certain areas of Canada that have a much larger forest area, like Alberta, probably.
Yeah, there's so many, like, all the best artists and comedians are from Canada, or like a lot.
I think Mike Myers is actually Canadian.
Yeah, Norm Macdonald was Canadian. He's like one of my favorites.
Was what happened? Oh yeah, he's still Canadian
He
in
died.
spirit.
Seth
In
Seth
spirit,
Rogen's
forever.
Canadian.
Canadian forever.
He is?
Yeah, Seth Rogen's Canadian.
Seth
Oh
Rogen.
my God. I'm thinking of Joe Rogan. I'm sorry.
Oh God, no, he's
Seth. I'm sorry.
that guy's
guys gonna have
that
him.
guy's weird.
That would be
Um,
hilarious if he was like, if he wasn't American, but was so
Yeah.
America.
There are memes online, but it is true about the. I couldn't help but when I was watching the Olympics get like in my American bag, and as soon as the Olympics were over, I'm like, I hate it here, ghetto ass place. But as soon as we were watching Olympics, I was like, America, America,
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, it's just very
I just
sad.
find that annoying.
Yeah, it is. It is
Like, I
quite
just-
annoying.
Well, I mean, also it's like, sure, if we, like, I can understand in some ways, like, hey, we want to represent our fellow, like, countrymen. I totally understand that. We want to honor the freedoms of the sacrifices that people made to make a country what it is. But at the same time, it's like, can we all just not be nice, or can we all just be nice to each other? Could we try to avoid the 2 pointless world wars that we had over the last 100 years?
Yeah. I mean, I guess essentially kind of what the Olympics are is to bring us together and go, hey, we all know how to throw a ball, right? Essentially, instead of, I think that is, I would hope that is one of the goals of the Olympics is to bring everybody under the same roof to have one commonality, which is to win something. But I do understand.
That's what we
it-
can. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what we hope for. But if you go back in history, I remember Germany hosted the 1936 Olympic Games, and they pretty much just used that as a propaganda tool
yeah, but
to
it
show
wasn't
that they
the.
were like a powerful nation.
Yeah, I believe that too, but I wouldn't say the Olympics was like the cause of anything or made things. I don't. I think there are worse things out there than the Olympics of ruffling feathers of other nations and whatnot. But I do get what you're saying, though.
Yeah, like Ukraine going into Russia
Good.
right
They should
now.
have came in there with Olympics first. Should have been like, hey, this is an Olympic game before they went in there. What?
Well, actually, Russia wasn't in
They
the
should have done. They
Olympics
should have
this
been like,
year.
"Sorry, we're late. We're busy winning," and as they come into Russia.
Sorry, we were late, comrades. We were trying to persuade the Ukrainians to share our ideals.
Yes.
No.
Maybe the Olympics should be like putting people together and go, hey, American and hey, Brazilian person, you guys are now synchronized swimming. Dance. And then they just go
You're right.
figure it out. Throw them in the water
They
and
should
go
be
like, get it together, figure it out.
Oh, I just thought of something. If they do comedy, they should say, you know, Russia, they have the biggest tanks. You know, they might be compensating for something.
There you go.
And he whips his dick out.
What do you think about Ukraine? What do you think about Ukraine invading Russia, Grandpa? Or not invade, but like going into their territory?
Well, it could get very serious, and the same is true of Israel and the Palestinians. You know, that's another issue where Iran is getting Israel's attacking Iran now, and Lebanon. It all of it could be very dangerous.
Do you think
We
they
don't
would?
know
Do
where
you
it's
think
going.
if all the nukes go off in the world that Philadelphia would be first, or Los Angeles, or New York? I was googling this
from
today.
my
I was just
point-
sitting there like, hey, wait, am I gonna get? Do I have even a minute if the nukes go off?
Well, actually, since you were talking about Israel being possibly under attack by Iran, I recently interviewed a guest that's from Israel, and she sent me an email that has to be up there as the most bizarre email that I've ever heard of. She just says, I thought it would be responsible of me to give you a heads up that there's a possibility that Iran might attack Israel and that we might be hiding in shelters for our own safety. So if the power goes out and I'm not able to make our interview, you know why. So at that point, it was like, okay, now I've read everything in an email. And in terms of if all of the nukes go off, if there was any place that got hit first, I would honestly have to say I think New York, just because of the sheer size of everything there. Like, it's
Not
such
very
a
big.
symbol.
I'm only 5'9".
No, but it's
I'm
such
like
a.
I'm not
So
5'9". I'm like 5'6".
You're fucked, Phines. You're fucked.
No, but
I'm not that
No,
big.
but New York is such a symbol of like America's success, America's alleged power, or America's like prosperity. That I would assume that whoever doesn't like America would want to attack it first. They've tried before and failed, but this would be a big win if they ever decided to do it.
Big win. I am a big deal.
Well, that's true. It seems somewhat obvious, but if you look back when the United States bombed Japan, they didn't bomb Tokyo, the biggest city in Japan. They bombed
Yeah, but that's
smaller
because
cities,
nukes were
so,
just being
you know.
tested at the time. They were not aware of its full scope back in the 1940s. I think because we've seen so many tests now from other nations that if somebody was to drop a nuke, they would know exactly, okay, we've done X amount of tests in the desert. We know the power that this thing could unleash if we put it in the right place. And they could possibly, even if they wanted to, drop it in the ocean and cause giant nature catastrophes so they can say, oh, we didn't drop a nuke, it was a tsunami.
Tsunami.
Yeah, we're just dancing at the end of the world.
Well, I don't know if
What
I would
can
do
I
synchronized
say?
swimming if there was a bomb in the water, but maybe.
What can I say except you're welcome?
Yeah, you're well. There it is. That's a good one.
I see you still have a sense of
yeah.
humor, Finest.
Still there. I love it. Yeah, no. I keep thinking I'm not going to be funny, and then lo and behold, this is there. This happens. I don't even have to try sometimes. Maybe actually it's all the great stuff is happening. I tend to make,
Well, guys, unfortunately, I'm going to have to go as my battery's at 10%, but it was a pleasure to see everybody again. I'm glad everyone is doing just so well. I will come on anytime. You guys just send me an email, and I will jump right back on here. But it's been a great time to come on. Everybody here, check out the Sit Down Standout show. As soon as you're done listening to Grandpa and Chill, buy my merch, by darn it.
Yeah.
Buy it.
Hey man, we love you, Benen, and we'll come on your podcast sometime. That'd be cool.
All right. We'll see you guys down the road.
Nice seeing you
Have a
again.
good one.
Podcasting with Grandpa Bart and Rosie, always on his shoulder. This is Grandpa and Chill.
Grandpa and Chill is brought to you by your hosts, Brandon Fox, Bart Frank, and Phines Jackson. Our producer is Sierra Doss. To watch and listen to full episodes of the show and follow us on social media, visit grandpaandchill.com. That's grandpaandchill.com.